At family dinner, Dad announced I'd be sharing my 3-bedroom house with brother's family. You have extra rooms. I stood up. You're right, I also have security cameras. I showed them footage of brother. I'm a quiet guy. I've always been the reliable one, the one who worked 60-hour weeks while my brother, Caleb, found himself. Last year, I finally bought my dream home. A quiet 3-bedroom on 2 acres. I put every cent of my savings into the down payment. I thought I'd finally found peace. I was wrong. Last night was the monthly family dinner at my place. My parents, Caleb, his wife Sarah, and their 3 screaming kids were all there. Halfway through the main course, my dad tapped his glass. He had that smug provider look on his face. Son, he started, leaning back. We've made a family decision. Caleb's apartment lease is up next month. With a new baby coming, they need space. I paused, my fork halfway to my mouth. That's tough. Hope they find a lead on a rental soon. Dad chuckled, but it wasn't warm. They already found a place. Here, you have 2 extra bedrooms gathering dust. It's selfish for you to be in this big house alone while your brother struggles. The room went silent. Caleb wouldn't look at me. He just kept cutting his steak. Sarah was already scrolling on her phone, probably looking at curtains from my guest room. Excuse me? I said, my voice low. Don't be difficult, my mom added, reaching over to pat my hand. It's only fair. Family helps family. They'll move in on Saturday. I felt that familiar heat rising in my chest. For years, I've been the family doormat. I paid for Caleb's business ventures. I bailed him out of debt. But this, they were colonizing my sanctuary. No, I said one word, like a gunshot. Dad's face turned purple. You're going to let your nieces live in a cramped apartment because you want a hobby room? I didn't raise you to be this greedy. You're right, Dad, I said, standing up slowly. I felt incredibly calm. The kind of calm that happens right before a storm breaks. You're right. I have extra rooms, but I also have something else you forgot about. I pulled my phone out and tapped the app for my internal security system. I have motion-activated cameras in every room of this house, including the ones I don't use. Caleb finally looked up. His face went pale. Dead white. What are you doing? Caleb hissed. Put the phone away. Why, Caleb? Afraid of a little home movie? I turned the phone around and set it in the middle of the table. I hit play. The footage was from Tuesday afternoon. I was at work. The front door opened. It was Caleb. He had a key he must have swiped from my mom's purse weeks ago. The family watched in silence as Caleb walked into my office. He wasn't looking for a place to sleep. He went straight to my desk. He spent 10 minutes trying to pry open my locked filing cabinet with a screwdriver. When he couldn't get in, he started bagging my electronics, my backup drives, my spare laptop, then the kicker. He walked into my master bedroom. He pulled a floorboard up under my bed, something I thought only I knew about. He pulled out my emergency cash envelope. He counted it, tucked it into his jacket, and spat on my pillow before walking out. The video ended. The silence in the dining room was deafening. Sarah looked like she wanted to melt into the floor. My mother was shaking. I looked at my father. Is this the family I'm supposed to be sharing my life with? A thief who's been scouting my house for weeks? I can explain, Caleb stammered. I was going to pay it back once we moved in. You're not moving in, I said, my voice like ice. In fact, you have 60 seconds to get out of my house before I hit send on this footage to the police. You wouldn't, my dad blustered, trying to regain control. He's your brother! He's a felon in the making, I snapped. And if you or mom say one more word about sharing, I'll include the footage of you 2 letting yourselves in last Sunday to measure the rooms while I was at the gym. I pulled up a second clip. My parents walking through my house like they already owned it, talking about which of my furniture they were going to sell on Marketplace to make room for the kids' bunk beds. My mother burst into tears. My father opened his mouth to shout, but I pointed to the door. Out, all of you, now, they scrambled. Caleb tried to grab a bottle of wine on his way out. I grabbed his wrist so hard I heard his joints pop. Touch one more thing in this house, I whispered in his ear, and I won't call the police. I'll call the guy I bought the security system from. He does private collections on the side. Understand? Caleb bolted. I watched them pile into their cars from my porch. I didn't feel sad. I didn't feel guilty. I felt light. I went back inside, locked every door, and changed the codes. Then I sat down and finished my dinner in the most beautiful, expensive silence I've ever heard. They haven't stopped calling. My mom is texting about family unity. My dad is calling me a heartless traitor. I haven't replied. I just sent them one final text. The locks are changed. The footage is backed up in 3 locations. If I see a single one of you on my property again, the police won't be the ones asking questions. Stay away from my house. I'm finally living alone in my 3-bedroom house, and for the first time, it doesn't feel empty at all.